welcome to the first edition of the Weekly Roundup. I'm Abdurrauf Hanslow. With this, we intend to update our global South African community, including the South Africans back home in South Africa, on exactly what's happening in the news and what's happening as far as the South African markets are concerned. This week, as a first edition, we're launching this channel, I think almost in alignment with the start of the financial year for South Africa, after our Minister of Finance, Minister Tito Mboweni, stood on the podium last Wednesday to deliver the South African budget speech in Parliament in Cape Town in South Africa. Today we'll unpack the budget speech for you. We'll give you a bit of a synopsis and a summary of exactly what the Minister had to say. In addition to that, we'll also give you a market update for the last week of what's been happening in the markets. I know that many of us are very concerned about our finances at the moment and the performances in the market. And one of our sponsors, specifically Kagiso Asset Management, has been kind enough to update us on the various happenings in the marketplace over the last week. On a weekly basis, every Monday, either Saturday or Monday, we will upload this program called the Weekly Roundup of the week's events, the past week's events, to display it to you, the South African global community and the South African community back home. So don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel and pound that notification bell, and take this as a personal invitation for you to share this video with all your friends and family. We'll now get into the synopsis of the budget speech that happened last week on Wednesday in Parliament. We'll give you a bit of a synopsis and a breakdown of exactly what the Minister had to say, and thereafter, immediately thereafter, we'll give you the market update as to what's been happening on the South African stock markets for the past week. We get right into the summary of the budget speech 2021. One of the highlights in the finance world over the last week was when Minister Tito Mboweni delivered the 2021 budget speech in the House of Parliament in Cape Town, South Africa this past Wednesday. We'll try and give you a summary of exactly what was said by the Minister in Parliament and what the next year will look like according to the budget. South Africa's budget deficit has been revised to 14% of GDP in 2020-2021. Gross debt has increased from 65.6% to 80.3% of GDP for 2020-2021. Debt is projected to stabilize at 88.9% of GDP in 2025-2026. Government has penciled in a primary surplus when total revenue exceeds non-interest expenditure for 2024-2025. This depends on many things, including a 1.2% annual wage increase over 3 years for the public servants. This will result in cuts to the wage bill of 303 billion rand over the next 4 years, including 2020-2021. Social grants increased by less than inflation, only 10 rand. The Land Bank was the only SOE to be bailed out to the tune of 9 billion rand over 3 years. The government has allocated 9 billion rand to COVID-19 vaccination campaign over the medium term. The balance will be funded by the private sector. Debt service costs will average 20.9% of gross tax revenue over the medium term. That is 21 cents of every rand will be spent on servicing interest. Total government spending will amount to 2 trillion rand every year for the next 3 years. Big ticket items include 402.9 billion rand on learning and culture, 335.2 billion rand on social development, and 248.8 billion rand on health in 2021-2022. Funding for new and urgent priorities, specifically the vaccines, is provided through reprioritization and reallocation of existing baselines. No personal tax hikes. The intention to raise 40 billion rand over the next 4 years did not materialize, thanks to better than expected revenue collection. Also, personal income tax brackets will shift upwards by more than the inflation rate of 4%. Corporate tax will decline from 28% to 27%. Excise duties on alcohol and tobacco rise by a hefty 8% for 2021-2022. The fuel levy will increase by 15 cents a litre, while the Road Accident Fund levy will increase by 11 cents per litre. The UIF contribution ceiling will be set at 17,711 rand and 58 cents per month as from 1 March. And mass public employment programs are allocated an additional 11 billion rand. That's our take from what the Minister said in Parliament and the Budget 2021. Please visit our website, www.sa-diplomat.com for further financial news, further general news for South Africa and the global South African. Looking at the market performances out of South Africa, the all-share index standing at 67,465 year to date. It's been up 13.62%. The Aussie 40 standing at 62,105, up 14.22%. Moving on to the sector performances, specifically the resources, industrials, financials and listed property. Resources up 2.36%, industrials up 0.41%, financials down 2.74% and property down 1.56%. Winners and losers of the top 40 stocks. BHP Group PLC being the biggest winner at 6.1% and Goldfields being the biggest loser at 11%. Anglo America being the second largest gainer at 4.8% and Anglo Gold Ashanti being the second largest loser at 10.9%. The SPAR Group in the top 40 stocks comes in at the third largest loser at 7.4%. Looking at the winners and losers of the mid-cap stocks, although SPAR being the third largest loser in the top 40 stocks, it's the second largest gainer in the mid-cap stocks at 3%, with Redefined Properties being the largest gainer at 4.1%. The biggest loser in the mid-cap stocks is Distel Group at minus 10.6%, with Bidvest coming in second place as the second largest loser at 7.4%. Moving on to our western side of the world, the US markets, the Nasdaq down 1.57%, the Dow Jones up 0.11%, and the S&P down 0.71%. Moving on to the central part of the world, the European markets, the FTSE down 1.96%, the DAX down 0.82%, and the CAC down 0.22%. Moving over to the east of the world, the Asian markets, the ASX down 1.2%, the Nikkei 225 down 0.22%, the TOPIX down 1.28%, the Hang Seng up 1.56%, and China up 1.12%. Moving on to our currency spectrums compared to the rand, $1 would cost you 14 rand and 71 cents. This is week to date, a movement of 1.8%. Month to date, down 3%, and year to date, up 0.1%. £1 will cost you 20 rand and 59 cents, with a week to date performance of 2.4% against the pound. Month to date, down 0.9%, and year to date, up 2.5%. A euro would cost you 17 rand and 81 cents. The movement over the week has been 1.6%. Month to date, movement has been down 3.2%, and year to date, down 0.8%. 1 rand in rupees would be 4 rupees and 93 cents. 1 Saudi Riyal would cost 3 rand and 92 cents. Moving on to the commodities sector in South Africa, a fine ounce of gold would cost $1,775.80. That's a movement downwards, and in this resource specifically, gold has seen pressure over the last while. Week to date, it's been down 2.7%, month to date down 3.9%, and a bloodbath over the year, down 6.3%. Gold in rands, 26,134 rand and 25 cents. Platinum standing at $1,294 per fine ounce. Palladium, $2,358.50 per fine ounce. And silver, $27 flat per fine ounce. The movements have been quite spectacular on that side. We specifically see a huge pickup in platinum, especially over the year to date, with figures coming in of performances of 20.4% in that specific resource. From the industrial material side, copper would cost $8,806.50 per ton. Iron ore, $169.50 per ton. Brent crude oil, $62.90 per barrel. And sugar, 17.8 US cents per pound. Obviously, the main performer there would also be our Brent crude oil, which has done well year to date, standing at 21.4%. Also winning the month to date figures at 14.3% up. This market update was sponsored by Kagiso Asset Management, and they've also been kind enough to supply us with all the data that you've seen today. Please visit their website www.kagisuam.com for the South African expatriate community and the global South African. I think they offer a wide variety of good quality funds for general savings across the board. Give them a try. Look at the website, and I'm sure you'll find something you like and a vehicle that could save your financial future going forward. You've been watching the Weekly Roundup with myself, Abdurov Henslow. Please don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and pound that notification bell. If you pound the notification bell, you'll be alerted to every video that we upload going forward. On a weekly basis, we intend to put this information up and to keep you updated on what's going on in the markets and as far as general news is concerned. We'd like to thank our sponsors, Kagiso Asset Management, for all the content that they have supplied and for sponsoring this video. So we encourage you to please stay tuned, stay focused, and this, I'm sure, will assist you with your finances going forward. Until next time, goodbye.